one. Thank you so much, Oh, gotcha. Switched it up on us.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's flow for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go.
Big rain, come along with me. Together with the truth you'll see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. To search for facts is always new.
you, Be Great. 88.
Together we belong.
Hope you're having a blast, my darling.
Thank
you so much.
Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear.
Nice, Robin.
The pearls were bound together through the storm and
Thank
darkest
you,
weather.
beautiful. Thank you
We
so much.
search high, we search low, together everywhere we go. Justin's here and he's going live with the best fans by my side. We're a family,
Diego.
we hold strong. Together we can
Love
right
it.
the wrong. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. In the night or in the day, pearls will light and lead the way. Justin's heart and your support. Together we will hold the fort. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care.
Click play and come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new.
Annette, thank you so much from West Australia. Much love.
Classy vibes and joyful zeal.
Yeah, Julie.
Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride.
Well, hello, my beautiful pearls. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is April 17th, 2025. It is currently 9:32 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Sped. Really do appreciate you, honey. This is Sped teaching the other half. Just wanted to say thank you for all you're doing. Your honesty to your audience speaks volumes. Respect to you, sir. Thank you so much, Miss Sped. I love you, my dear friend. You are such a joy. Thank you so much, honey. Hope you are well. And thank you, Cindy Lou. Really do appreciate you. Prayers I have inner shingles. Inner shingles? Wow. I hope you shingles are painful. I hope you feel better soon, honey, for sure. My gosh. We will definitely keep you in our prayers, hon, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely, honey. Y'all keep Miss Cindy Lou in your prayers, please. Just going through it right now. Thank you, Miss Cindy Lou. Thank you so much, Smiley. We love you. We love you, my dear. I was listening to your live earlier, but I didn't get to join chat, but I was listening great live earlier. Miss Smiley, and thank you again, Spad Teacher. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cajun YouTube. Good to see you, honey. Hope you are well. Thank you, Phoenix Moon. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Miss Berna, thank you so much, love. Hope you are well. Be Great 88 on vacation but still listening. Hope you are having a ball out there. Really do appreciate you. Be great. Thank you so much, Annette, from Western Australia. Thank you so much, my dear. And thank you again, Cindy Lou and Sped. Thank you so much, y'all. Really do appreciate you. Excuse me. So we did if you were up with me last night, hey, Court TV, good to see you, my friend. Hope you are well. If you guys were up late with me last night, thank you. We were up very, very late. I do have to give you kind of a little bit of a notice. I may have to, unfortunately, with this live, I don't know yet, but I may have to abruptly kind of end it, but we'll just have to see. Or I may have to step away for a few seconds. Either way, I apologize if any of those is the case. Yes, we were, weren't we, Mohawk? So, if you joined us last night, I had a source come to me and I obtained a call from related to the Sebastian Rogers case, and put a 1 if you have not heard the new call. Only if you have not heard the new call. Put a 1 in chat if you have not heard the new call. Veronica, thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Ooh. Okay. So a lot of you haven't. Okay. Well, we'll play it. We'll play it. Okay. And then we're going to go over some things that the parents has discussed before, and just kind of compare it. At first, I want to say that there have been no named suspects in this case at all. Everyone is innocent until and unless proven guilty in a court of law by a judge or a jury. There have been no named suspects in this case. Now, I do have an email from the detective that is on Sebastian Rogers' case, and they indeed told me that this is a criminal investigation. What that means, one can only speculate, other than there's a criminal element to Sebastian disappearance, right? So, that being said, please put in my opinion or allegedly if you indeed are sharing your opinion, or alleged, right? Everything that I say is my opinion and my opinion alone. Consider everything my opinion. An opinion is not a fact at all. Okay? We got that covered, right? All right, so I obtained a little over 14-minute call from way back when oh, thank you so much, Hot Wheels. Appreciate you, my dear. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. All right, so I obtained a call. It's about 14 minutes. This call took place around the time that the what was the time Edgar went up there and started screaming with Seth while the PIs were up there? Web sleuths. Around that time, this took place. I think it was, give or take, around that time. Oh yeah, Kimbo. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to play that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the public interviews that have been out and kind of compare them. That's what we're going to do. When isn't he not yelling? Well, that's a good question as well, right? Pamela, thank you so much. Welcome to the Pearl family. I love that name, Pamela. Thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate that. Y'all, please welcome Pamela to the new Pearl family. Love your German Shepherds. So beautiful. And thank you, Veronica. Really do appreciate you for that as well. All right. So without further ado, we're going to get it started here. Are y'all ready for this? Because it's something, and it only, in my opinion, kind of goes downhill as the call takes place. Again, I will give my opinion on it. Again, it is just my opinion. You are free to form your own opinion on how you interpret this as you see. Okay, here we go. Let's get it started. All right.
Right.
I'm not asking you to tell me what's right. I'm asking you to tell me what you actually know. Like,
about
your
the
client
situation.
should have set you down and should have told you from start to finish where he's at and what he knows, right?
Where he's at and what he knows.
No. He should have set you down and told you every single thing from day one to where we are at now.
So, right here, Edgar is saying to the PI that Seth should have sat the PI down and explained everything that he knows. And I'm sure, in my opinion, that he's the father of Sebastian Rogers, and I'm sure he would have said everything that he knows. However, it's not so much what he knows. That's why, I mean, you obviously need to fill your private detective in, but it's what they can find out for you, number one. And number two, it's what the most important part of that is getting the information from the mother, KK, who says that she was home alone with her son, Sebastian Rogers. So I take this, in my opinion at least, as him wanting to kind of find out perhaps what the PI knows.
Well, I mean,
Oh my goodness, Angel, thank you so very much, my dear. That is so generous of you, girl. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you, honey. Gifting 10 Pearl memberships. Thank you so much, Angel. I really do appreciate that, honey. If you received one of those 10 Pearl necklaces memberships, make sure you give our beautiful Angel a big, big thank you. Very generous, beautiful Angel. Thank you so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate that, hun. So good to see you, my dear. And thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much, honey, for 4 months. Good to see you, Miss Lisa. Much love to you all. Thank you so much, Miss Lisa. I think it's been more than 4 months. I don't think sometimes YouTube gets it right, but thank you so much, Lisa. It's always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Hope you are well.
gotten most of
When
my
you take the picture,
information
hold on.
from, I know that I know about y'all going to BJ's. I know about y'all going to Strike and Spare, and I know y'all picked up Melissa's daughter.
And say, well, hold on. See, this is where you're.
I do want to say that it's probably best if you have uh, headphones, if you have them around you right now, it's probably best because you can hear KK better with some of the things that she says, but it's not.
Your information's wrong.
Okay.
I did not
Okay.
pick up Melissa's daughter.
First, let me correct.
I thought that was on an interview. Didn't y'all say?
No, hold on. Let's change.
Ma'am.
I need you to change your words.
Well, I mean,
Because
that's why we're
y'all-
talking, so we can clear things, like figure
Right.
things out.
Once again, y'all didn't do shit.
Chris was in Memphis.
Oh, Chris was in Memphis, right? Okay, so
So
sorry.
don't say y'all. Thank you.
Okay, my bad.
So
So
Katie and Sebastian went to BJ's.
right.
Prior to going to BJ's,
Listen.
After picking up our niece,
I said prior to going to BJ's,
which was not Melissa's.
they went and picked up a niece. That name is not going to be disclosed because it has no
Has been through.
business.
Was not Melissa's daughter that I picked up.
Okay.
What you do need to know is
BJ's.
all you need to know is that two sisters, Katie, Sebastian, and children went to BJ's.
All right. Two sisters, assuming Edgar's, Katie, Sebastian, and a bunch of kids went to BJ's. BJ's is a wholesale, very similar to Sam's Club, Costco, that kind of thing. Now, you're going to hear what time, and this was a very interesting part for me at least.
That is on a video footage.
Yeah.
They have seen that. Law
Yeah.
enforcement can confirm that.
Right.
She needs
But
to be picked up.
names don't need to be extracted, don't need to be out. in
Yeah, I
front of
mean,
public.
minors' names don't need to be thrown out anyway.
Exactly.
No,
My
I'm
sister doesn't need any more harassment either.
So sorry, my player just quit working here. I don't know why. Make sure it's... Hold on, let me refresh it, guys. Bear with me 1 second. Nope. Okay. 1 second, y'all. Where is it at? Okay, sorry guys, I'm having a little technical difficulties here. Huh. All right, guys, I'm going to have to... Where did it go? That is so... Am I looking in the right spot? Let me see here. Just give me 2 seconds, guys.
About to be right.
Okay. All right. Sorry about this. I apologize. You know what happens when it happens, right? Let me know if y'all can hear this.
I'm not asking you to tell me what's right. I'm asking you to tell me what you actually know.
Could y'all hear that? You could hear that? Okay. Perfect. Just wanted to make sure.
About the situation.
Set you down.
All right, I need to go back to where we were at.
Okay, my bad.
We were at 2 minutes.
No, yeah, I haven't said anything about Melissa at all. I haven't even mentioned her.
Well, Melissa, once again, my two sisters on video footage.
Yeah.
That has all been vetted, that has been proven, proof of life, all that bullshit.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so Melissa, Ed's sister, Edgar's sister, Cassie, again, Edgar's sister, were there at BJ's.
Yeah.
Now,
Now, again, she says on... You can't hear it again? Let me do it like this. I'll do it like this then. I know this will work. I don't like doing it like this, but I can. Okay.
on video footage.
Yeah.
That has all been vetted, that has been proven, proof of life, all that bullshit.
Right, yeah.
From work, you know, this bitch told me.
Yeah.
Now, they go to BJ's. They leave BJ's.
Sebastian and I leave BJ's. Your sisters went their own way. I don't know what they did.
Shit, they left BJ's.
Okay. Now, She says, Sebastian and I leave BJ's. They all go on their own way. Meaning the two sisters and the other kids. That's important, right? Because we always thought that the niece went with KK and Sebastian. But that's not what happened according to this interview. Just KK and Sebastian left.
So you and Sebastian leave BJ's.
Okay, so okay, can because I don't have actual times.
Listen.
Can I get a timeline on that?
I don't remember the exact. I'll give you an on or about time. I can't give you an exact time.
So
I used your Live 360 to give exact timestamps to the law enforcement. It was before noon.
Gotcha. Okay. Before
noon. Before noon, they had woke up, made the spaghetti pancake breakfast. Sebastian liked to brag about it, or wanted to brag about his breakfast to the family. So that's what he did. A little while later, they got together with the two sisters and the niece. Okay? Now listen to this. Before noon, all of this.
noon at BJ's.
Yes. Law enforcement has the literal, like, to the second. We have been told we are not to give out exact times. Directly from law enforcement, we're not breaking that.
Now, I strongly have a much different opinion on this part right here. He says that all law enforcement has told him not to give out exact times. Right? Why? First of all, you guys have seen the email that I have showed you directly from the only detective that has worked on Sebastian's case since day one. And that is him saying we cannot tell anyone, advise them on anything. That's not what law enforcement does. They don't advise on what you should say or you shouldn't say ever. Ever. Number one. Number two, this is before Sebastian went missing, right? Everything is normal at this point. Everything is normal at this point. Why couldn't you give an exact time? Especially if there is no involvement. So, I'm not really sure if I agree with that or not.
Like I said, they literally used my 360 and like
They got the timestamp.
That route I took, they knew how fast I went. They knew if I did any stops, which I didn't. They know, like they literally know every detail because we have upgraded 360. So they literally, and I have a thing in my car with a camera.
She's saying that she has Life 360, which is a good thing, if that is indeed true. And she has a thing in her car that says it's the upgraded Life 360, how fast you drive, all of that. But she also says she has something in her car that is a camera.
Yeah, the dash cam.
It's not a dash cam.
Oh, okay.
know in his vehicle there was something that recorded a video and audio. So Edgar says this is not a dash cam, but there is something in the car that records audio and video. Now, again, maybe he's using semantics on this. Maybe it's a GoPro, whatever, how semantics he plays. So, not really sure. We went home after BJ's ... for a little while. Did you hear that? We went home after BJ's for a little while. Now, meaning they're going to be home around noonish, and they are home for a little while. They didn't get hardly any groceries at BJ's. Remember, KK in Chronicles of Olivia's interview said they went home to put away groceries. I have been told that allegedly they bought at BJ's some socks and a few food items. Nothing really major.
And unloaded the groceries.
Did you hear that?
And unloaded the groceries.
Right here. Now, Edgar starts talking here, and he says after they were at the house a little bit, they go to Strike and Spare. Now, again, Edgar claims that he was not at home during this time frame. He claims he is 3.5 hours away at this time in a different state. Almost still in Tennessee, but technically a different state, saying. So, I don't know why he constantly interrupts KK, because if he wasn't there, KK is the one who, it's very important that when someone goes missing, that it comes directly from the account of where and who it came from, of the source, the original source. So important. So, there's that. Because the plan was to go bowling, but because there was a bowling tournament going on, they didn't get to bowl. They had to play video games.
There was too long of a wait list, and it was a school night, so I promised to take him bowling another day.
All right, so they didn't get to bowl, so they went to the little arcade park, or the arcade part rather, at Strike and Spare. KK says she promised to take him another day. They were having bowling tournaments at that time, so they played at the arcade for a little while. Now, she didn't ask what time this was, which would have been nice to know, but I think we can in my opinion, rough out an idea about what time it would be, because she's going to say what happens next.
It was Sunday night, weekend night, going into school. No, it is not. It's considered a weekend. Don't talk away. Okay, that's still not the school night.
All right. So KK says that it's a school night. Sunday night is a school night. Sunday night is a school night because you go to school the next day. You have to get your kids ready on Sunday night to go to school the next day. And Edgar says it is not a school night. Sunday, he's like, it's not. Well, you know what these souls say. And KK's like, well, it is a school night. So they kind of argue, and he kind of snaps at her. And she says, semantics. And he said, semantics plays a big role in this case. I found that interesting because I think semantics should never play a role in any case, uh, especially a case that where a child is missing, right?
And understand something, you can say that if you put some shit out there like that, everybody's gonna think, oh, well, so what's Sunday? But I'm telling you that dumbass thing. All fucking thing.
All right. So after BJ's, went home to unload groceries, then went to Strike and Spare, played in the arcade for a while
All
because
that's been vetted on video.
yeah.
Nobody smokes a Sebastian as far as the result. They can't see anywhere in the videos that they were following.
Hold on,
That is something.
I need to rewind that for a second.
There, played in the arcade.
1 second.
Nobody smokes a Sebastian as far as the result. They can't see anywhere in the videos that they were following. Well, that is something that you're gonna speculate on. That has been eliminated.
Yeah, I did talk to them about that, and they said that the cameras were shit. That they weren't really able to see a whole lot of anything at the Strike.
Now, I've not seen video of Sebastian and KK at the Strike and Spare. However, I have seen photos, I guess, from the video at Strike and Spare. And the photo that I saw wasn't really that bad. But we'll see. Let me see if I can boost the volume. I'll try. It might work, it might not. It kind of goes in and out.
But they went all the way back to BJ, all at from Jets. Just Roadhouse.
And they confirmed again the video there. They even showed Seth a clip of it after his little
I haven't seen Purple White
comment, even though he had.
What did he tell you about that?
Now, again, they're kind of being disrespectful, if you will, to Seth right there. I mean, any father is going to want to know proof of life as much as possible whenever your child is missing. I don't think that's unreasonable. In fact, I believe if the shoe was on the other foot, if KK was, if Sebastian was at Seth's house, KK would want the exact same thing. I think that is a totally reasonable thing to ask.
About what?
That his little comment, he has proof of life since Friday or Thursday or Friday, but I last saw or heard from my son.
Yeah,
So Edgar here, he talks like a 4-year-old, very typical of him, and he states, well, Seth says that he does that kind of voice. Haven't seen any proof of life since the last time I saw him. Okay. And he said he creates a meeting. Well, what's wrong with creating a meeting with the authorities to ask for proof of life? I don't think that's unreasonable whatsoever. You want as much as you can get.
I'd heard about that comment. I mean, he hasn't said it to me, but I had heard about the comment.
But see, this is where, like, truth be told, this is where everything needs to come out.
Excuse me.
He knew there was personal life prior to that. He started some shit. It caused the fucking stir. It caused the meeting. They showed him a video, Texas Roadhouse. They showed when they walked out of Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
He has seen a video of Sebastian at the fucking house Sunday night taking the fucking trash out.
Right.
From inside Michael.
Yeah.
All right. Again, they're talking about here where the video of someone taking out the trash. Again, Seth says, he couldn't 100% verify if it was Sebastian, but he said it was too blurry. Now, KK and Edgar says, well, yeah, you can see who it was taking out the trash. They also say, KK says, well, I have audio and video in my car.
So, okay, so you guys got...
Do you see the frustration where we have?
yeah.
I don't see the frustration, actually. No. I would be frustrated about not finding where my child is. That would be frustration. I wouldn't be frustrated at the biological father, in my opinion, for wanting as much proof of life as possible. That would not be a priority.
I do. But it's nice to have like a conversation with you instead of having to get everything, everywhere else. Definitely.
And we went home straight from Texas Roadhouse. And we were home for approximately 15 minutes before he took the trash out. And he is on video, and the FBI was able to clear it up and confirm that it's him.
All right. Big things right there. KK says about 15 minutes after they arrive home, that is when Sebastian is seen taking out the trash on camera over from the neighbor's house. That's very big information, if that is indeed the truth. She also says that FBI was able to clear the video up to see that was Sebastian. Now, you can believe it or not. It's up to you, whatever your opinion is on this. But Seth said he couldn't make out that it was his son exactly.
Even though you can tell it's him from a mile away because of how he runs, it's just, you can tell from his mannerisms. The second you look at it, it's him running, but still.
Now, personally, my opinion has always been, I believe that Sebastian took out the trash. I know some of you don't believe that, but I do believe her when she says that Sebastian took out the trash. And I do believe that is him taking out the trash. But another thing I find interesting is, again, this camera from across the street, you can see an individual taking out the trash. If you could see an individual taking out the trash, you would be able to see an individual coming out of the door or going up to the door as well. I can tell you that across the street, even when Sebastian and Kay and Edgar live, when the lights kick on or off, it also triggers the door or the Ring door camera from across the street. It's sensitive. So anytime someone is out in that yard, anytime someone comes out of that door, anytime they take out the trash, you can see. I've also been told that allegedly, and Edgar says that they weren't able to see. The cameras weren't able to see in the dark. A lot of them when they reenacted the to see if Sebastian could have went out. One of the sources tell me that they did indeed go to the house and to check to see if like someone went up to the door, walked out the door, if it would trigger it. And this source told me that it does trigger it, and that's when they told me that whenever the lights even kick on or off in the house, it triggers it. And this source told me, she said, even the lights when they kick on and off triggers our camera. So of course, someone walking up or out of the door triggers it as well. What was that? Trash was heavier. Trash was not actually heavier. I did a live on the trash actually. If you, I've got the messages from the trash guy who is in that area. It was always thought in the beginning that the trash truck individuals reached out to law enforcement, but it was not like that. Law enforcement actually reached out to the trash company to see if they had noticed anything off, around Sebastian's house or anything related to the trash. And they said no, they hadn't noticed anything. So if you go back on this channel, I do a whole live on that.
Okay. So he took the trash about 15 minutes. And that was about what time was that?
Don't know exactly off the top of our head.
Listen to this.
Well, I know.
Let me rewind that just a little bit.
Well, I know.
Hold on.
He took the trash about 15 minutes. And that Listen. Was about what time was that?
Don't know exactly off the top of our head.
Well, I know you told him to go to bed at about 9, right?
So Edgar states, I don't know off the top of my head. Now, that is a little concerning to me, to be honest. I understand not wanting to give a wrong answer, incorrect answer. However, this is a child, and it really matters. And there is nothing that needs to be given off the top of your head. It's very interesting to me how you can remember as specific as 9:43 or 9:46, the times you call and other times like that, or roundabout time, but not with this. But it only gets worse from the next few minutes here. Really bad.
And
Excuse me.
how much time was between the trash and going to bed?
A couple hours.
All right. How much time was between going the trash and going to bed? Edgar states a couple hours. What time did Katie and Seth get home? Not Katie and Seth. Katie and Sebastian get home. It was close to 7, right? Close to 7. It says a couple hours. So that would be around 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
Okay, and then you guys were on the phone from about what 9 to 12?
Mark.
Sure.
Was that FaceTime or just a phone conversation?
Did you catch that? Did you catch that part? Y'all were on the phone from about. Hold on. Stop calling. I'm live. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. I don't care. So from about 9 to midnight. Right? About 9 to midnight. Okay? So when that happens, he says, sure.
Mark.
Sure.
Was that FaceTime or just a phone conversation?
It doesn't matter. We were on the phone. Those details don't have any bearing in this.
Yeah.
The phone call was made, whether it was a FaceTime, a Zoom call,
The only
whether it was
reason-
a voice chat.
Yeah, the only reason that I am curious about that is just whether it was possible that he had heard any of that conversation.
No. Once again, our conversations are not where children can hear them.
Well, I mean, I think he said that it was like,
Would have upset him.
yeah, no, I mean, it's not like we were arguing or anything. I mean, we spend time on the phone daily because we live separately the majority of the time when he's on travel. So we call.
Listen to that again.
Travel. I mean, we spend time on the phone daily because we live
It's not cooperating.
separately.
Can you not hear it again? Why does it do that? Maybe rewind. I don't know why it does that.
Well, can you correct me?
Somewhere between 9 and 12. There was a
Listen to this.
her And mom told him, Sebastian, whatever you're doing, knock it off and go to bed.
Okay. Somewhere between 9 and 12 now. Between 9 and 12 o'clock is whenever he's saying is when the thud happened now. So it could have been before the phone call, even before the phone call, because remember, you and KK don't start talking till about 9:43, 9:46. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It sure wasn't like they said, in my opinion. Well, VA, just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Oh my God. It changes everything. Yes. But just wait till you hear the rest of this, but then wait till you hear Olivia's interview, Smiley's interview. But it gets way worse. This call does. Way worse, in my opinion. So again, 9 o'clock is when Sebastian, he has it, Smiley. 9 o'clock is when Sebastian allegedly comes out and says, Mom, I love you. I'm going to bed. Good night, Mom. Good night, puppies. See you tomorrow. Right? All right. Cool. Sebastian and Katie says, and he goes to bed. She says just like that. He goes to bed every time. And I've always said, well, okay. It's always interesting to me that from 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock, which is when she said before that she heard the thud. The thud was always about 10 o'clock. Now here it's 9 to midnight. Okay, cool. I always found it very interesting from 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock, nothing, right? You can hear if someone's in your house. You can hear if a kid's in your house. You just can. You can hear if they're in there playing around, right? On their Nintendo, on something, whatever. So I don't understand why there are so many stories. And I always found it interesting about 15 or 20 minutes after Edgar calls in their 10 o'clock thud sound. You didn't hear anything for 45 minutes before Edgar called, and 15 minutes after Edgar called, that is when you heard the thud. But now it could be before the call or after, or during the call, rather. From 9 to 10 is most likely when something bad happened. I think something bad happened around 9 o'clock. Maybe even before, in my opinion. Cindy Lou, we're going to play it here in just a minute. All right, hold on. Let me just back that up just a little bit. Right there.
There was a sound heard, and Mom told him, Sebastian, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to bed. He said, yes, ma'am.
There was a sound, not a thud, a sound. Mom says, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off, go to bed. Knock it off, go to bed. Okay. Well, are you really going to say knock it off and go to bed if it's 11:30? You're going to hear your kid from 9 to 11 if they're awake. And if you've already let them stay up 1 hour later, 1 hour later than you normally let them set up. In fact, Edgar and KK, they say from 7:30 to 8 o'clock is Sebastian's normal bedtime, which is incredibly early for a 15-year-old. But he does take medication, so I understand in a sense, but regardless, it's still incredibly early. But the medication causes drowsiness in most, and so I understand he needs to sleep that off before the next day of school. But he normally took his medication around 7:30 to 8 o'clock, according to Seth. And within an hour, and that is to be very generous in timing, he should be asleep within an hour. Right? So let's say he took that medicine at 8 o'clock. Well, 9 o'clock, yeah, you're probably going to be asleep. But she's saying upwards till midnight. He's saying she heard this sound. Knock it off, and I don't care what you're doing in there, but knock it off and go to sleep. The other thing was, Bubba, did you fall out of the bed? That was another story that she had stated, right? But most of us parents, if we, it's Sunday night, you let your kids stay up an extra hour anyway, and then you're on the phone or you're busy doing something and you hear them in there, you're going to be like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be in bed. Not, I don't care what you're doing, because obviously you care if your child is not in bed. They got school tomorrow. You got to go to bed. That doesn't make sense. Knock it off, or I don't care what you're doing in there. Knock it off and go to sleep. You do care, because that's why you go and say, yell at them or check on them. But just wait. Just wait. Excuse me.
All right. And then nothing until you went to wake them up, right?
No, nothing until she went to wake him up.
And that was about 6 a.m.
So, and tell her what you just said, so that way, for the record, make it clear.
Oh, but that's how she started.
No, she said that what I told you about hearing the noise, her saying go to bed, and he said yes, ma'am. Apparently that's wrong. So correct.
Now, do you hear how Edgar is speaking to her right now? Just rewind that just a little bit.
What I told you about hearing the noise, her saying go to bed, and he said yes, ma'am. Apparently that's wrong. So correct.
Okay. I don't care what you're doing, knock it off and go to sleep.
Did he answer her?
He said, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Once again, right back to what I fucking said.
Once again, right back to what I effing said. He's got to be in control, in my opinion.
Okay. Now my dog's gonna want to start barking. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second.
Something I was going to ask you. Okay, so I did want to go back to where you had said that you didn't think you ran away, that you ran away. So what do you think?
I don't have.
Listen.
Either one of us have an idea.
Yeah.
All we can tell you is like that's why I asked you what did you exactly know in this case. What Seth has told you makes it easy for us to fill in the blanks.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Edgar says, that's why I asked you what you know about this case and what Seth has told you. Makes it easier for us to fill in the blanks. Seth is trying to get the blanks filled in for him as well. He was a father who was working a 12-hour shift the night his son went missing. He was working in a jail. Your wife, Edgar, KK, she was the one that was at home, allegedly just her and Sebastian, which means she should be filling in the blanks for the person or the PI trying to conduct an interview, not you giving answers. She needs to give that. In my opinion, he's just fishing, just absolutely fishing.
Yeah.
Your client
Not at all, Planet.
Oh,
so I just need to know what's
Oh, did you hear that? Do you hear what he said? Edgar might be reading too much into this.
yeah.
your client has an idea in his head. And that is his narrative. He's painting. Oh, so I just need to know what's being said.
Your client has a narrative in his head, so I just need to know what's being said. He doesn't know where. Okay, let's think about it like this. If you was at work, including Edgar and Seth are at work, and Sebastian goes missing, right? And there's different versions being thrown around, many different versions, one to how, and especially times. And your wife or your ex-wife would not speak to you about your son, nothing else, just your son that's missing. The most common interest, the most important thing to both of you, it should be. And that should always be a motive to speak, right? You might can't stand your ex in every other aspect, but the one thing you can agree on generally is the health and the welfare of your child, right? So KK won't speak. She's giving multiple stories. His shoes were left by the door. Didn't take a jacket. Doesn't like to be outside. No scent or anything. You're going to ask questions. In fact, if Edgar wasn't there, he should be asking questions too, in my opinion. Nobody thinks that someone they know, live with, or married to can do something like this, to do something to a child, or, an accident happen, and that's just the truth. But it happens. But from day one is from KK is, I don't know why he walked out of that door. Well, the only way you know he walked out of that door is if A, you saw him, or B, you were part of it. Because you don't know. That is a scenario, just like nobody knows 100% on anything, where Sebastian's at or anything. So you don't know. But that's what it's pretty much been since day one. All right, moving forward. Here we go.
And I'll fill you in.
Well, the thing is about Seth that I don't think he's kind of just back and forth about things,
That's where he's stupid and he's wrong.
Well, he doesn't know. He doesn't know if he was lured. He doesn't know if something happened in the house. Like, just have to.
And that's where Edgar right there says he's stupid and he's wrong. And the PI here, it makes a great point. He doesn't know. He was at work. And of course, you're thinking, God, someone I know couldn't be a part of anything horrible. She's the mother. She would protect him at all costs. But this doesn't make sense. So what's going on? That's a natural ebb and flow of your feelings and where your mind takes you. But Edgar just says he's, stupid for doing that. I think if the shoe was on the other foot, Edgar would feel the same way. I pray to God it's never on anybody's, happens to anybody. God, heaven forbid. I don't think that's a fair assessment from him.
Say that, or and he doesn't know if he ran away. Like, he doesn't know.
Well, see here, let me help you something. If something happened in the house, that should never be a statement that comes out of your mouth or his fucking mouth for that matter. Because quite honestly, law enforcement has already vetted all that shit.
Here we go. What happened to Edgar saying that it's okay for people to have opinions? In fact, I think he said the other day someone was kissing his ass and was, groveling at him and said, I'm so sorry. I thought that, this didn't make sense or anything. And he said, no, don't apologize to me. Anybody would question that. Anybody would question that. So, Edgar, you literally just said that like yesterday or day before or something. And you're also calling Seth stupid because of what? Because he's asking questions? Wanting to know proof of life? Asking time frames? Knowing your son and knowing he's not going to walk out without shoes? A coat? Why would he?
reason to insinuate, no reason to make that comment.
Well, I mean, I'm just being
excuse me.
transparent with
I
you.
know you're being frank, but I'm being extremely frank with you.
Yeah.
If there was something in there that they think had an issue, they would have already have gone down that route.
Well, I mean, I don't know anything.
Oh, sorry, I had the booster on and it sounds different. Oh yeah, that did, Anna Elizabeth. That absolutely did, right? So they would have already gone down that route. Well, maybe they have gone down that route, but you guys know and I know that some routes are longer than others. In some routes, there's a lot of stops, and sometimes you have to. It takes a while on those stops to collect everything you need on the bus to get to where you're going. So, yeah. Crazy a country girl. Thank you so very much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Thank you so much, my dear. Justin, you're gorgeous, and I've been here for a year, and I'm so glad I found your channel. I love it here. Thank you for all you do and have done. You are thank you, crazy country girl. Really do appreciate you, my friend. Very, very kind of you, and thank you so much for your support. Hey, Hindsight, love, how are you? Yeah, I'll back that up just a little bit. Someone said rewind that just a little bit if you don't mind.
If there was something in there that they think had an issue, they would have already have gone down that route.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know anything about what law enforcement is thinking or what they're doing. You know as well as I do, they don't share that with me, and they don't have to, and I don't expect them to.
Okay.
All right. So there it is. There that is. Now, look at this, y'all. Talk about a 180. Talk about a 180. Here it is. Credit goes to Chronicles of Olivia. Beautiful Olivia. Look at this. I want to see you guys point out things that you noticed from the interview that we just did to this little interview here.
And picked up our niece.
Yes,
I got
Oops.
a call.
Actually, hold on. I need to. No, it's the right one. Okay. Again, look at this. Look at how she, when you're trying to remember something, and then she's like, our niece, and then he looks up and does this, right? Now she says she picks up our. Let me rewind that just a little bit, so because I want to see the order that she
Walk
had
through
this in.
that day. Sunday, the day before he went missing. We got up and fun fact, I made breakfast that morning. We had a good time. We were laughing, we were joking. He talked to family on the phone during breakfast to brag. We went and picked up our niece.
See Edgar there? Our niece, he's looking up. Okay. When did you pick up the niece? It sounds like you're saying this after breakfast, right? Nub Fisher, hi. Is it a fact that Sebastian made it home after the steakhouse? Yes. Thank you, Nub. He made it home. He made it home. Yes. He made it home. Absolutely. Absolutely made it home. Thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. She keeps looking at him for approval. Well, I don't know, but I'll tell you this. How does she place the day here? Because we didn't know the time before. Remember? Didn't know the time, what time they were at BJ's. It was before noon. Got a call to pick up our niece. Arnold, a couple different ways. Audio and video of them in the car. Their ride home wasn't long enough for anything to happen. Um, they have the route, all that confirmed, and the the video of Sebastian taking out the trash, and there was something else. Mohawk might remember. I can't remember the other thing.
Yeah, I got a call and asked if I could go and pick her up, and I did. And so we went and did that. We went to BJ's. Had a good time there. He ate up.
Now, did she say in the interview that we just listened to, when did she say she picked up the niece? Was it before BJ's? I know this is what's confusing me, guys. This is what's confusing me. I've got some I got some text here. Let me find them. And remember, this is kind of blurry. You're not going to be able to see it because I can barely see it, but let me just show it to you. This is from Deborah, or Dara rather. Yelp, he was at my house for a few minutes on Sunday afternoon with his mom and his cousin. Okay. How does that work out? If am I missing something? Seriously. She goes and picks up the niece and they all meet at BJ's. Again, Katie, Sebastian, two sisters, and a quote bunch of kids. And they go to BJ's. And then after BJ's, they all hold on, that was Sunday. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's right. And then they go to BJ's, and then KK and Sebastian leave BJ's. Just those two. Right, but girl mom, after they leave BJ's, how is KK, Sebastian, and the niece at Dara's house that afternoon? For a little bit. They do not mention stopping at Dara's to Heather's. Correct. I don't think they mentioned stopping at Dara's to anybody. And that's a big issue if you ask me. She don't. That afternoon, during the afternoon. One second here. I might have another clearer one here. Perhaps. No. I don't think I do. So that's the question. If Dara is, girl mom, explain who Dara Mohawk. She's like, well, if they went to BJ's at noon. Okay. But she says they left BJ's, just her and Sebastian, and went home. And quote, dot, 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 stayed for a while. That's what I'm not understanding here. If it was just you and Sebastian that left, well, then how are you? Dara has to be after BJ's. I understand that, but she says it was just her and Sebastian that left BJ's together. And she makes that very clear. Not necessarily Arnold Time. Arnold Time says all that matters is proven Sebastian was at Roadhouse with KP and they got into her vehicle and pulled out of parking place last seen alive. See, I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. Because generally, if there is foul play on anyone that knows Sebastian, this is a criminal investigation. 100%. 100% a criminal investigation. Regardless of that, the things that lead up to a person disappearance is usually the reason they're disappeared. Right? So let's say, for instance, and this is hypothetical, I'm not saying this happened, I'm using this as an example of something that could be a possibility, but we have no idea. Again, not a fact, not a fact. Let's say one of the nieces said Sebastian did such and such, right? Or, whatever. Well, that could be something very critical to why someone snapping later, right? Someone losing their cool later, right? So that's why those things matter. So it probably doesn't. We're probably just not understanding something because she's obviously not said the same things consistently. So, right here, Dara states, yep, he was at my house for a few minutes on Sunday after with his mom and his cousin. So, did one cousin go home with them? Did they, what's up here? Because that's really important. That's a big difference.
Colossal popcorn. And asked if I could go and pick her up, and I did. And so we went and did that. We went to BJ's. Had a good time there. He ate a colossal popcorn. Came home to put groceries away because we bought snacks because he's 15 and snacks.
Okay, so again, slightly difference here. She says we came home and put groceries away. The way she makes it sound in this interview, in my opinion, that they bought groceries and snacks like a typical grocery run. The phone call with the PI, she says they just bought a couple things. Again, I was told they bought socks and a few snacks, allegedly. So, and then they, quote, stayed a while at the home after they got home from BJ's. Again, in the other interview, it's just KK and Sebastian coming home and staying home for a while, putting a couple snacks up. Oh, Tasha, good memory. I forgot about that. I do have that somewhere. Justin, do you have the screenshots of Melissa said about picking them up to go to BJ's? Damn, does anyone have that on hand?
Um,
Let me look.
we went to the bowling alley. And then from there, we went to dinner. Came home. He took out the trash because that's his chore. He takes the can to the end of the driveway.
All right. So, again, the way I always pictured it in my head, personally, was, they went to BJ's in the early afternoon, and they met with they picked up this niece or whatever, took them to BJ's, and the niece went back with them. They dropped them off. She dropped them off at Dara's house a little bit that evening, and then they went home, took the snacks out, and then went to the bowling alley, and then went to Texas. Justin, I do not think Grace Paris think. Justin, I do not think it is a friend of hers. Who, Dara? Uh, okay. Bear with me. Okay, here it is. Thank you so much for sending that to me. All right. This is what Melissa says. Very important. Someone sent me this screenshot from Mob Crew. I was with him Sunday afternoon shopping. I took my sister and her daughter, plus my sister-in-law and Sebastian, shopping that afternoon. I can tell you he was in a good mood, They headed home to put away groceries when I saw him Sunday. Okay. I took my sister and her daughter plus my sister-in-law and Sebastian. Okay. So that's about right. That's about right. I was with him Sunday afternoon shopping. So Melissa took her sister and her sister's daughter plus my sister-in-law and Sebastian's shopping that afternoon. When the hell? No. When was the niece with KK and Sebastian? Didn't Edgar say it was before noon? Yes. And yes, that's another good point. You just caught that. Good job. Who said that? Kinsey. Kinsey B. Good point. I was with him Sunday afternoon shopping. Edgar and them says it was before noon. I took my sister and her daughter, plus my sister-in-law and Sebastian. They also say that there was a bunch of kids as well. Took infers she picked up. I agree. I agree. I know a lot of people take it like that. I was with him Sunday afternoon. I took my sister and her daughter, plus my sister-in-law and Sebastian shopping. It's like they all rode together. A sativa. She must have misunderstood the script, in my opinion. Uh, Something's wrong. Does she have a minivan? Well, she says she met them at BJ's. Cassie's baby daddy had a daughter. Hmm. Do they drive a bus? Can't be both. That's right. One story is only true. And, you know, this kind of makes me think that something could have taken, something could have happened. And I don't mean what ultimately happened to him, but it could have been the beginning of something. You know what I mean? I don't know. Again, that's just my speculation. But nevertheless, it's very, very interesting because the times are off. Um, and the the when is when is the niece with KK and Sebastian? Because there's no point where she can be with Sebastian and KK unless it would be, I don't know. Something is really off here. Very off. Very, very off.
About 9 o'clock, told him to go to bed. And he's come out of his room where he was playing, and he said, "All right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. I love you." And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise, and I was like, "I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep." About an hour. He was doing something in his room because he said, right. About 9 o'clock, told him to go to bed. And he's come out of his room where he was playing, and he said, "All right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. I love you." And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise, and I was like, "I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep." And
Sorry, I was muted. I apologize. So 9 o'clock, he goes to bed. 10 o'clock, he, in this interview, she says she hears a sound, right? She hears a sound. In other interview, she said, "I told him to go to bed, and he did." No mention of him coming out of his room. Correct. Correct. So I heard KP's friend from the Navy was at her house early the morning when Sebastian went missing. Really, Soldier Girl? Maybe not even a niece, but someone they're portraying as a niece. No, he says the two adults' names, and they're both his sister, so they would be his. You know. I want to know what story they told police. I have a feeling it's completely different than what they ever said on YouTube interviews, the media, etc. Well, the thing is, obviously, if we know that they've changed stories by seeing it and hearing it with our own eyes and ears, law enforcement certainly knows that they've changed their stories too. And, I really wondered the other day whenever Edgar stated that there was no car that was in the neighborhood right there in front of the house, and that he says a trash someone at one of the homes there, one of the three homes, was taking out the trash, and one of the neighbors have came forward. And I just thought, God, what do cops think about this right now? Like, what do they think about this? Because this is something really wrong, in my opinion.
about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning, and that's when he wasn't here.
What was going through your mind at that point? Like, what were the feelings that you were
Excuse me.
feeling?
To censor myself. Holy freaking crap, this can't be happening. Where is
Thank you so very much, Sweet Joe. Really do appreciate you, honey. But thank you so much. They certainly act a lot more subdued than they did on the previous phone call. They sure know how to act, in my opinion. Um, this interview right here that we're watching right now, it was earlier on. So this interview that we're watching right now, it came before the one we listened to with the PI.
My kid. Choice words were used.
Nobody talks like that. Nobody speaks like that whenever their child is missing. Choice words were used. Holy freaking crap. Choice words were used. What? No.
Like, where the F is he,
Then she gives an example. She gives an example so you will know what she claims she said. She's wanting you to know how upset and frustrated she was at that time. Holy freaking crap. Choice words were used like, where the F is he? Seriously? Seriously? KK? I tell you, was it yesterday? I can't find my kid. Yeah.
I had looked through the house for him because it was typical for him to get up and come and rummage for snacks and things like that. And he likes to dip behind the, walls and watch,
Really?
and then he comes out after I come back and he likes to scare me. But,
Isn't it amazing how you can hear something 100 times and then one day you're like, how the hell did I miss that? How the hell did I miss that? I get it. But look how she smiles, and then she does this almost in every interview. She'll tell a little funny, if you will, and then she goes
and he
back to
likes to dip behind the, walls and watch, and then he comes out after I come back and he likes to scare me. But, after I looked, and I mean, mind you, all of this took place in like 1 minute flat. But I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband, and I said, I can't find him. And he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in this effing house. I can't find our son. And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school, and he's already at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying, I was screaming.
again. This is where the infamous cough goes in, and she says, I get in my car and I drove over, and he's already. And then she says, and then he was like, and all of that. So, again, there is questions about the timing with this as well, because only from 6:03 to 6:33 we only know one thing happened, really, and that is that that Edgar calls Seth at that time, or text one, I can't remember, or both. And from 6:33 to approximately 6:33 to 6:42 or so, or at 6:42 on the dispatch, it says the mom is driving around in the neighborhood looking for her son. Text at 6:22. Yes, indeed. in another interview, she redirects CP what he's about to say as far as location. Oh yeah, yeah. But she's isn't hysterical. They're reliving it. Yeah. Watch this. It's amazing.
He jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school and he's already like at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying, I was screaming, and
there you go.
Um,
30 minutes are unaccounted for.
He three-wayed law enforcement and was telling them like our son is missing and we don't know what's going on, and he was like, go back to the house, they're on their way. And I drove back to the house, and 20 days later we haven't found him.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how stressful that is. And also, like when we were driving up here, like this neighborhood is so pretty and nice. And do you
Nobody.
think has
I mean, this is the thing. She says, I can't find him in the other interview, right? Not in other interviews. She says, I can't find him. And he means, what do you mean you can't find him? I can't find her son. He's not in the house. And she says, so I called my husband. That's when she says, I can't find him. And then he's like, well, did you check here? Did you check here? And she says, yes. And then he said, instantly, stopped, instantly called sheriff's department because ... That's what we're supposed to do. I ran back to the house, then changes it to drove. Yep. Absolutely. Feisty Mama, thank you, darling. If my son was missing, I wouldn't be staying where the F is he. No mother says that. No. No. Nope. Not at all. That's for sure. And Feisty Mama, thank you so much. Yep. Did the police use Luminol in the house? Total, in my opinion. Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of, my dear. And I realized he wasn't in his bed. Yes. And remember, they did not let them in there. 1 second, y'all. Hold on, I just got a message. The Dara lady lives next to Chris's sister. Supposedly, Katie was running her niece to cheer practice on Sunday, and her niece was at Dara's house, so she went there to get her. I'm assuming this was before they all went to BJ's, but I don't know. Look at this. Someone just sent me this. The Dara lady lives next door to Chris's sister. Supposedly, KK was running her niece to cheer practice on Sunday, and her niece was at Dara's house, so she went there to get her. I'm assuming this was before they went to BJ's, but I don't know. Huh. But this is my question. Again, if KK was, why couldn't Chris's sister run her to cheer practice? The sister went with them. They all met at BJ's together. Why would KK drive all the way over there whenever the sister lives right there? And she never mentions, I looked through this room to see if he left a note or looked at the. None of that. None of that. Yelling and screaming for Sebastian with her windows up? Question mark, ma'am. How did you expect him to hear you? Besides, you were not driving slow on Kellen. Interesting, isn't it? So now you see what I have known and what I've been wondering. What's that SI officer? I mean, we've always had questions about that. Like who took who and all of that, but it now it is even more out of whack, right? Because of the times they were at BJ's and they said they left alone in this one interview. It's like, why can't people just say one story and stick to it? Oh, thank you, Joe. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, love. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, give our Joe South Oz a big thank you. Really do appreciate you, my love. Thank you, babies. Very kind of you. I thought Cassie lived in Portland. I have no idea. I am not a local. Not a local. Yeah, I do not believe that was the daughter. Sorry. Something's off. Something's off. That does not make sense. Both sisters were to the store. It does not make sense. Dara lives off station camper. I didn't think they even lived close together. Like neighbors like that. We originally thought that Dara lived in Edgar and KK's neighborhood. But that didn't it either. Yep, Philippe, how are you doing? Hope you're well.
He ever like walked away before? Or, like, has that ever happened? It's just no. First time.
He's not a child that wanders. He's not one that is.
He doesn't have a history of being an eloper, which is common. And I have friends with children on the spectrum who do struggle with elopement with their children. But no, Sebastian, that's one thing. It's always been a blessing. He's not been an eloper or a runner.
Now they are trying to make it sound like, oh yeah, Sebastian, he's gotten out before, he's hid under a car, just as recent as the last few interviews recently, like in the last week, that Edgar has spoken, which the neighbor clearly came out and stated that he got the child mixed up. He thought when Sebastian went missing that another child lived there, and it actually wasn't. So there's that. Diane Miller, thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you. Thank you for renewing your membership. Really do appreciate you, my friend. Welcome back, Diane Miller, to the Pearl family. Really do appreciate you, honey. Thank you so much. And thank you for again. Something is off on all of this. Big time. Big time. Something's off. I don't believe he had, or I don't believe he had, or school would have it happening there too. Yeah, he does. Listen, if this was a child that eloped, and they could not trust him in that way, he would not be getting off the bus of the evening by himself, unlocking the door, going in the house, doing his chores, right? Taking a shower, all of that. That's not a child who ever elopes. Same thing with Seth. Same thing with Seth. Seth had to work a lot of nights. When that happened, he was by himself, right? If he wanted to, what's not true, Elisa? What's not true? Tori, thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. You can gift me a pearl necklace. Thank you so much, Tori. If you received that pearl necklace, make sure you thank our beautiful, beautiful Tori. Thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you. He also did homeschooling on certain days where he was home alone while she was at work. I've never heard that, Lana. Let me tell you about something about that before I go. Remind me, guys, before I end this live, I've got something very interesting to show you about the concrete stuff. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've not been one of those that have believed, necessarily it could be in concrete or anything like that, but there's that. All right, let's finish this.
His primary areas are like social and emotional dysregulation issues and things like that. But he's very smart. He's functional. Overall, he's a pretty happy kid. I mean, he's a teenager. He's coming into his hormones. He's angry that he's growing a mustache, but for the most part, he's a happy kid. And
What are your theories? Like, I'm sure your mind has thought of every possible thing that could have happened, but is there any theory that you can talk about that you think?
What I can tell you is with all law enforcement, with everybody that's involved, there's nothing that's been eliminated. Everything is on the table. Everything is being looked at from every possible aspect.
Everything from he got out and walked away and was outside of the search radius before we started searching to the worst.
Yeah.
And
that's currently where we're at. I mean, it's
really trying not to go down that road because we're gonna find him.
It's amazing they finish each other's sentences. No, Edgar, You were line two. You were line two. Um, so she said he's emotional. That tells me that he was likely overstimulated and the evening wasn't pretty normal. Um, I can tell you that according to some neighbors, that Sebastian would get in um, when he would get frustrated. He would uh, get up in your face, if you will, like he gets overwhelmed, you know. And I I think KK, in my opinion, from what people have told me, that she was overwhelmed too because she was home alone a lot, and she felt like she wasn't, she was like a, she wanted Edgar home. And I think that's why Edgar, so they asked him if you could change anything, Edgar, about any of this. He said, I probably would have stayed home more. I've never thought that was because of Sebastian necessarily. It was for KK. Felt trapped, in my opinion. Well, I think, some people, it just depends. Everyone's, different relationships, right? And some people in relationships, they need their spouse or their partner or whatever to be with them every single day. And some families, you know, your husband or your wife, they're constantly gone, and, you know, you're fine with it. Um, and some just don't care either way. You know what I mean? So whatever's whatever. So I think she's probably the latter of those. And I think that things were allegedly, really stressful. And I think we have to look at, I think this is really important, and nobody talks about this in the Sebastian Rogers case. We need to look at the victimology here, right? What happened? And I think this is going to be a big key in this case, in my opinion. What happened the last, since, for instance, since Sebastian moved, since they all moved into the new house, right? What all happened? Because remember, they lived, what, 8 years together? They lived 8 years together. And, just like in the Summer Wells case, I feel like the family system broke, right? In all of our lives, in all of our relationships, in our family relationships, there's always different health, right? Of the family, of the relationships, of all of that, right? And sometimes things are better in the family or the house. Sometimes it's not. That's life. That's just life. It's for every single one of us. All of us. None are exempt. Don't try to pretend. That's life. But what changed since Sebastian started going to the new school and since the move happened? What happened? Well, I don't know. I know that allegedly, well, there was, according to Seth, there's 5 CPS reports, right? There's 5 CPS reports. I think one of the biggest things is that Sebastian was getting older. Sebastian was changing, right? Puberty, when all of that happens to every one of us, when we're growing up, it is a big change for us mentally, physically, emotionally. It's the transition from whenever we are a child growing into young adulthood, right? We're not adults yet, but we're going toward that. So, what does that entail? That entails more aggression, hormones, right? More hormones. Uh, that can be uh, more aggression. That can be uh, more interest in things. You know what I mean? Um, it can also be something that, for whatever reason, something may have concerned one of them in the household, one of the parents in the household. Although, regardless, I mean, I don't see, I don't see that happening, but at all, because I know Faith and Sebastian, they were together, and I know that they were very, makes me want to cry, really, because they really cared for each other. Like, they adored one another. And I know Sebastian was very proud of having, you know, a little sister, who came, and Faith was too. So, and what does the entail with things like autism? Right, good question, Magic Star. Good question. Thank you so much, Feisty Mama. Really do appreciate you, honey. My son is in answer states away from me in North Dakota. I miss him so much. Parenting is so hard, but harder when they become adults and you don't get those cuddles. Love your children. They grow up too fast. You are so right, Feisty Mama. I seen a old friend today. She's more like almost like a grandmother figure, really. Hadn't seen her in a long time, and we were just talking about how quick life is. You know what I mean? It's so, so quick. And you just don't know. You just don't know. Oh, really, Sugar Beet? It's cold, North Dakota. Lord. Seth said that he had never ran away anywhere. No, no, never ran away anywhere. KK and Edgar stayed here. Never ran away, never been interested. He's not an eloper. And listen, you're right, Kiki. You're exactly right. But what was I going to say? Oh, children that are autistic are going to generally run away. If they're going to run away, start ever running away, it's going to be before they're 12 years old. If they have not ran away generally by 12, like the eloper type. One second. MC says, I packed my little suitcase at age 4, according to my mom. Yeah, I remember when you were little. It's like you would get the old wooden stick and tie the little hanker, not the bandana on the end of the stick. I'm running away. It's like you wouldn't even get off the porch. I wouldn't. I was scared of everything. Uh, on their part, in my opinion. So much for contradicting stories and comment from them wanting to confuse. SI officer, I wonder that too, because if you look at Don and Candace Wells, that case, Summer Wells case, they loved confusion, in my opinion. They loved to confuse people. And they didn't care how it made them look. They just did not care. Because, you know, they would be drunk and they would say, Donnie, you're going down. This is like the mother telling the biological father, you're going down, kind of thing. So they didn't care. Why Edgar invested in Summer Wells' case, in my opinion. Again, I think it's just learning from history, in my opinion. That's what it boils down to. I think it's very, the saying goes, there's nothing new under the sun, right? Everything that's, you know, has ever happened has, we generally, history kind of repeats itself. There's not new types of, people running away, or there's not new types of crimes. They just happen at different times, or they happen in different sequence. But this is the thing: if someone can think how to do a crime, then you and I, and of course law enforcement, can think of how they did it. We can think, if they can think that, then you and I can think how whoever did what crime. You just got to put it all together. I did that and I had 5 of my little. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lisa, exactly. Exactly. Okay, hold on. I got something here I need to show y'all. Um, what is this? What is this? Girl mom sent me something interesting. Let's find it here. Who's that? Girl mom. What? Girl mom. I need a little more information on that. What's that about? Before I show it. I know you can't see yet. Dara's husband? Is that what she said? Justin and I just bought StreamYard today. Gotta figure out how it works out. Kiki, StreamYard is the easiest one out of them all by far. Justin, she said she sent you Dara's hubby's charges. Um, I don't know. What's for? Okay. This was October 12th, 2024. Girl mom. Owner of Sumner Wholesale Auto Group and a co-conspirator charged in scheme to defraud Ford Motor Company. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if y'all want to see this, I will, October 10th, 2024. By selling old fuel injectors in boxes falsely labeled with Ford markings to make it appear as though the parts were eligible for a rebate from Ford, announced acting United States Attorney Thomas J. Jaworski from Middle District of Tennessee. According to the court documents, Nebel was a founder and co-founder of Sumner Wholesale Auto Group, LLC, which operated under the name Swag Performance and Off-Road LLC in Hendersonville, Tennessee. During the time of the conspiracy, Swag was relocated to Cottontown, Tennessee. Nichols was an independent contractor working for Swag. Ford offered a rebate program through which customers who bought a genuine Ford replacement fuel injector, which cost approximately $300, could return their old fuel injector core and receive $180 from Ford. Instead of selling genuine Ford core to Swag's customers, Nebel, Nicholas, and their co-conspirator bought old used cores for $35 to $45, packaged them using fake labels, decals, and logos so that they could be appeared to be core that were associated with purchase of new replacement parts, and then sold them to Swag customers for $95 to $170 each, knowing that Swag's customers would make rebate claims to Ford for the $180 rebate. If convicted, Nebel and Nicholas faces up to 20 years in federal prison and a maximum of $250,000 each. The case is being investigated by Homeland Security Investigations Assistant U.S. Attorney Stephanie N. Toussaint and is prosecuting the case. An indictment or information is merely an allegation. The defendant are presumed innocent until and unless convicted. Wow. That's interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Is that why some interested in Seth's Homestead thing, twisting things, in my opinion, allegedly? I don't know. The Roger Homestead of values or something like that. Oh my God. It is literally the dumbest thing. The dumbest thing. And by the way, someone said the other day that I signed an NDA. Never in my life have I signed an NDA. Ever. Okay? Promise. Never signed an NDA. Is it illegal to hold someone and interrogate? You can't physically hold someone there unless you're arresting them. Oh, apparently, Soldier Girl saying I signed an NDA. Yeah, right. The family and everyone around them, in my opinion, my gosh. Sign their damn NDA. You can kiss my NDA. Whoever said that. Give me 1 second, y'all. I need to check something. 1 second.
Press 1 to be connected with a dedicated agent. To leave a tip for either case, press 4 to leave a voicemail. You may also text your tip to 844-922-3236.
Give me 1 second.
For general inquiries about At Night, press 2. For more information on One World's initiatives, press 3. Case overview. That he is still alive. If you have just seen Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, do not wait, dial 911 immediately. A reward of up to $347,000 is being offered for information that leads to his safe return or the arrest and conviction of those responsible. This effort is supported by Dog the Bounty Hunter and At Night Private Intelligence. Case overview, Summer Moon Utah Wells.
I don't know what that's about. Don't understand it. Yeah, they can kiss my NDA. Exactly. Someone sent me this. And it says troll at, is this on Twitter? Want to know why you asked Sebastian was having a hard time at school keeping his impossibly to other while at school. His oh my god. Oh my god. These people. Well, it's on X. So, here we go. This is what Trollbot at Tracy F0427. This is the new excuse of why I cannot believe these people, of why they're saying Sebastian is wearing diapers. Want to know why, you asked? Sebastian was having a hard time at school keeping his hands out of his pants and possibly exposing himself to other children. The diapers were a deterrent, as was the belt. That's while at school, his pants were to remain up. There, now. Hold on, 1 second. Hello, 1 second. 1 second. Oh, sorry, guys. I didn't have it on the phone with me. Guys, I have Seth R. Rogers. Hello, Seth.
Sorry, hold on. I was logging in to watch you. What are y'all discussing? That way I'm not.
Well, someone on Twitter is now saying that the reason, to me, it sounds like a certain person, but allegedly Sebastian was having a hard time at school keeping his hands out of his pants and possibly exposing himself to other children. That's why the diapers were used as a deterrent, as was the belt while he was at school, so his pants would remain up. Sounds like someone, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's been a while since I wore a diaper, but I believe those things would probably itch and make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, but
And
they're saying that
it's
ridiculous.
And I'm pretty sure that somebody did want him wearing the belt while he's wearing, pull-ups or diapers or whatever it is that they were putting him in, so that people couldn't see it.
Right.
That way they wouldn't start to wonder what's going on. But that's just, again, you're talking to, the father of Sebastian, and I didn't have to have him in pull-ups or any of that sort of stuff.
Right. Exactly. Because
I don't have Twitter or X, so
I don't get on it either.
I was seeing that Julie was actually live, and unfortunately, you have to be subscribed to her for more than 2 weeks. So I sent her a text message, and then I tried to call her, and she's on the
Julie, Julie, Buckham and Feed and Beans, Julie?
Miss Goldman,
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
you know, I don't understand what her problem is with me choosing who I work with. If she doesn't remember that her first live, she said that she had pictures of my son. And when I went into that first live of hers, she didn't have pictures of my using nasty tape in my mouth while I'm looking for my son.
Right.
You know, it's nothing against her personally, but as a father looking for my child, when you throw your first live stating that you have pictures, new pictures, and you don't, I can't deal with that.
She said she had new pictures of Sebastian?
You know, so yeah, when her first live, I was there. I was there in chat. I subscribed and everything,
Oh.
but didn't have pictures of my son.
Oh, Kelsey said, yep, she was there.
And it was misleading to me, so I chose not to work with her. Now, is it the fact that I tried to take a professional stage when it comes to looking for my son, and I'm not trying to be like other particular people telling nasty things. But I'd like some type of ethical, moral compass with people that I work with.
Sure.
Whether you like the person I work with or not. You know, it's between me and the person I'm working.
Right. That's what I've always said. I said, even when I didn't care for Tony, remember that? I said, it's just not my decision. It's what's set. It's Seth's life. He's the one steering the ship.
You know, and I've already sent her a couple text messages. She chooses to ignore the text messages, and then she's ignoring the phone call when I called her. And I called her 3 times, and she was like, "Oh, it's somebody from Tennessee. I don't know the number." And it's like, well, she's telling me to find somebody to talk to her live in chat. Like, I don't know anybody that could go into her chat and talk to begin with. But I think it's kind of, ridiculous that she's going to sit there and put my name in her mouth and say that I'm making bad decisions or that Tony is making bad decisions for me when she doesn't realize that I make the decisions for me.
Absolutely.
I'm a grown man.
Yes. And you were before you met Tony, and you will be if you never speak to Tony again, right? I'm just saying, you're a man, you're a father, you can make your own decisions. I think it's insulting actually for someone to say, you shouldn't be around. I tried to put myself, because I honestly didn't care for Tony, but I also said, I don't care for him, but Seth made that decision, and if it's good enough for Seth, it's good enough for me. Now obviously I like Tony, right? But even back then.
Oh, you didn't want to tell Tony that you didn't like him. Okay. Okay, I won't probably not then.
Wink, wink.
It's just trying to get people to understand that I will work with almost anybody, and I will accept help from almost anybody to find my son, because that's my only goal, is to find Sebastian.
Right. Right. We don't have to agree on everything, you know what I mean? But if the the goal is the same. Right. Right.
Right. If you can agree with that goal, then you can agree with trying to bring Sebastian home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
I don't get why people want to cause more strife within the internet. make more people, not like this person or not like that person. If everybody could just put their little differences aside and realize that the goal of finding Sebastian and bringing him home is all that matters to me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's just me. There's hate channels out there. Their goal is obviously not to find Sebastian and bring him home. All right. So their goal is not the same as mine.
Right.
Pretty much cut and dry.
Sure. Lucy Lou, I've asked Seth whenever the meeting, the parent teacher conference meeting was with them, and he can't remember the date either.
No, I told you that I have to go back in and see when it was.
If you can do that, that would be amazing.
That means going down to Sumner County.
Well, that would be amazing, because that would get some dates in place.
So, as long as everybody understands, I know you understand. I know that Josh understands. I know that Betty understands. I know that, there's Lady Freedom. There's a lot of people that I work with.
Right.
But I'm the one that chooses to work with who I choose to work with.
Right. Jules understands. Sin.
Since Chad and I say hi to him, that normally means that I work with him.
Right.
And I just, you're gonna dislike me because I choose not to work with you. Well, that's pretty petty.
Well, that's what people get in their feelings, and it's not really it shouldn't be about us. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be about us when it comes to this. It's about the goal.
It's about a missing child that needs to come home.
Right. Bingo.
Missing child that I don't know if he is alive or if he is deceased. And every day that goes on that I am not able to find him, locate him, bring him home is another day that his life could end.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I feel that nobody understands that that's what's going through my mind every day.
24/7, 365, literally
today,
now.
He'd be alive tomorrow for me to find him. And every day I still have that feeling to find my son.
Well,
because I can't find him. And the opposition that I am getting from somebody else's, family,
right,
just makes, it's just worse.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, just the recent things, it's all insane. It's like things just need to calm down on all sides.
It's insane because now Julie's threatening to put information out about Tony and his whole family because I chose not to work with him. What kind of petty, childish stuff is this? Middle school, high school, but now we're getting into grade school level, performance here.
I really want to believe that Julie would not do something like that. I really want to believe that. And, I think she might be in a moment right now or something. So let's just hope that,
But Kat, that before I even called her, I had already sent her text messages. I told her that, hey, it's a set. I'm trying to get a hold of you. I was trying to call her from Tony's phone, and then she wanted to go ballistic on that one. So then I had to pull out my phone and actually try to call her from there. And that's when she was like, person from Tennessee is calling. And I'd already sent her a text message from my phone telling her that it was me and that I can't, if she wants to talk to me and wants me to wait for 2 weeks to be able to speak in her chat, that's fine. It won't happen because I'm not going to stay subscribed to a channel that I don't want to listen to.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks is a lot of time that I'll be looking for my son.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, it's a YouTuber that put me in contact with Tony Mathis to begin with.
Yeah, it was. Yes, you're right.
Like Tony reached out to me. Another YouTuber is the one that connected both me and Tony together. And we had a conversation. Several conversations. And Tony at the very beginning was like, hey, it's the whole family or I ain't doing it. And when he found out that me and Mr. Egger and KK weren't working together, Tony didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was like, this is going to be too much. And, I can agree with it.
He was right on that.
But I begged him. I called him multiple times, sent him an email, 2 or 3. And please assist me. I just want to find my son.
Yeah. I remember the first live Tony and you guys did. Remember that? Yeah. Yeah. So there's that.
And it's funny because a lot of people forget that I can't even tell people who my guests are going to be when I do a live show. Because my first guest was supposed to be, Joe Petito.
Right.
But he got phone calls and threats towards his, non-profit entity because he was actually going to speak with me. I needed information. And because of the attacks and assaults on him, it's one less person that I have as a resource to help find my son. And that's the whole point of these hate channels. The whole point of the opposite side. They don't seem to want Sebastian found. Why is that?
Well, it's, in my opinion, it's not about what it's, finding about what happened or even talking about not even talking about the case so much. It's about everything but that.
Yeah. My son comes,
Brenda, where do you get that? Where do you get that? Did anyone say that here? Did anyone say Tony stopped working with Seth?
Oh, Tony's still working with me.
Of course he is.
I
know.
But, I mean...
She's talking about someone, about another YouTuber. Rewind. So, I don't care.
If you really want to know if Tony's working or not, say hi to him. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Tony. Well, there you have it, folks. So.
I mean, come on, give me a break.
Okay.
I mean, you think that we're not, putting our minds together, trying to figure out the next things to do? Going over things?
Right. Guys, stop mentioning it, please. I'll deal with that after the live. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I got it. So, there's that. as she said on Facebook.
You know, I see some really good questions in your chat, and I really wish I could answer them.
You're fine, Brenda.
But some of these questions, I don't have answers for. Like, I don't know why law enforcement doesn't stop the threats that are going on. I don't understand why a person can go on a panel and absolutely threaten somebody, multiple people, at different points in time, and they just let this criminal-minded, yoo-hoo do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
That makes me feel worried for everybody that lives around him, because he's a loose cannon. Lord help you if you just happen to be driving by his house because you live in the neighborhood. They'll go after your kids. We've already heard that one.
Hey, Lolly.
No sorry from his father.
Yeah, Bobby was terrified.
Pretty sure she still is.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people in the neighborhood. They just want Sebastian. They just want this over with like everybody else.
Well, I want this over with, or I want this over with Sebastian being found healthy and coming home.
Yeah. I've always heard that people saying not knowing, just not knowing, you know what I mean? Obviously you want best case scenario, right? Obviously. But
Not knowing, the only thing I can say about it is that you have hope and you have faith that the best possible outcome will happen. But way back in the back of your mind, that doubt that likes to creep in,
right.
You just got to use hope and faith to keep that doubt out. Sometimes it gets hard. It's a never ending.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
Which is, I admit, I was probably triggered the other day when I came on. I just can't stand the fact that this person is threatening women, has put his hands on women, and threatens and puts his hands on children. I mean, we used to live in a society where if a man did that, another man would come along and put him in his place.
Right.
He couldn't run and hide behind laws or hide behind the police, because the police were supposed to be the ones that actually sat there and did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it just seems that nowadays it's not that.
Yeah.
It seems like we have a bunch of people that's more worried about money than a child's safety, or finding him and bringing him home.
Yeah. Well, I hope it gets better. I really do. It's a bizarre one. It's a bizarre, very bizarre.
I don't know if protests would work or not. I mean,
I don't.
who you gonna protest to?
Yeah, I think you should.
I look at a protest as in you being mad that the local, bread mart where you get your fresh bread every day. You walk in and they're like, "Hey, my oven broke last night. It's not going to be fixed for 2 weeks."
Mm-hmm.
And then that's because you can't have fresh bread.
Right.
Something inside broken, so it's not working effectively. Protesting doesn't help it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think hopefully, you can continue working with law enforcement, and hopefully something will break soon. Just got to keep the faith, brother.
Like every day,
I know.
we're getting more billboards out there. We're getting more and more tips because we're getting his face to more and more places.
Yeah.
More and more people seeing it. Someone's going to be the person that calls in with the tip that opens this wide open.
Have you noticed? So the tips have went up since the billboards.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So you're getting more up.
Getting more tips, but at the same point,
I mean, you're getting more billboards up as well.
Yes.
Good. Good. So.
We just got to see the A channels have their little ants that do their dirty bidding and give them all their money. That's cool. We have to still weed out the false tips that they call in.
Oh, really?
Oh, of course, we've been doing that since they started the tip on.
Oh, wow. Hmm.
There's a lot more work that goes on behind the scenes than a lot of people realize. The point of going down every rabbit hole to clear every tip means to make sure that it's an actual valid tip and not just a fake tip. Because they come in,
Of course.
I've had to drive a few hundred miles on fake tips on more than one occasion, and it's definitely a waste of my time. But that's what they want. They want to waste my time because they, and I say they know that I'm looking for my son and I can't leave any leave on time.
Right.
So, anyways, I did not mean to hijack your show.
No, you're fine.
I'd call in, Holly S. I know that you were over there in there. I know that she's still running her mouth about stuff that she has no idea what's going on. Yes, I'm still in communication with Sumner County.
Is that a subscriber?
Tasha. Picture of a cat. Yeah.
I have no idea. Sorry.
I see you, Holly.
I'm really bad with. I've got the memory of a goldfish. Literally.
Well, no, hope. Let's hope that you have more than a memory of a goldfish. Because goldfish can't even find their way home.
I know. Their memory deletes every 4 seconds or something. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Well, people are giving you encouraging words and saying they're praying for you and Seth and you and Sebastian, rather, and all that. So
I appreciate all the prayers. Definitely have to have the prayer warriors out here praying for Sebastian to keep him safe until we can find him.
Right.
Or, find him.
Yeah, I know, brother.
I can't move on like other people.
No. Yeah, Bobby.
They're having the great of their life, and then they want to get mad, triggered because billboards are up. Get used to it. Get used to it. You're supposed to be his mom. You were supposed to be his stepfather, and they're not acting as such.
Yeah, we was going over this new phone call that a source gave me, and uh, it's way different. Way different.
Yeah, can you actually, I need to talk to you
Yeah, I got you.
off the air.
Okay. Okay.
We can't let anybody in chat know why we got to talk with.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, I've already heard the call. I heard
Right.
it.
I
Like,
played it, yeah, last night and stuff. So
happened.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, like I said, I didn't mean to hijack the show.
No, you're fine, bud. You're fine.
Y'all have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You too, Seth. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. There we have it, folks. There we have it. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm telling you. I think the world needs a drink. Let's see here. All right, guys, Josh is going live in about 30 minutes. So if you want to join Josh over there, Nub, thank you so much. Hello again. Is the strongest motive for the disappearance, Sebastian, is he would have been interviewed for CP's custody battle. Sebastian was going to be able to live with his father in a month, question mark. I can tell you 100% he was not supposed to be. Thank you for that, Soldier Girl. Yes. He was not supposed to be interviewed for anything custody related. Now, could it end up, the CPS cases, or could that have ended up affecting it? Perhaps. Perhaps. Could it, pertaining to that. So yeah, sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. Mob Crew here, he is ill, guys, so please keep him in your prayers. He is really under the weather. He's been sick for some time. Hey, Mob Crew, I apologize for being out for so long. My health is not the best, and hopefully I get the answers I need soon. I should be back very soon. God bless and much love. Please keep him in your thoughts, in your prayers. He is one of the best around here, as far as his work and his honesty, and just a good hearted person. And constantly works. His finding sources, again, sources coming to him, because he doesn't, again, leak his sources or, get mad and throw them under the bus like so many on here do. Blue and black, congratulations. BBQ and Granny's watching. Yes, let's give them a big old congratulations. Absolutely. There we go. Thank you so much for your $2. I really do appreciate that. Moving along. He has debunked many things. Oh, absolutely. He certainly has. Yes. Yeah. Oh no, I heard he was sick. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, keep him in your prayers for sure. All right, guys. Josh will be live in about 30 minutes, so make sure you head over there. Lab After Dark. Really do appreciate you guys. It's been a long day. I'm exhausted. I busted the rebel just. Yeah. They paid me $2. There you go. $2. We'll give you a clap. Take an antibiotic for it too. That's all I can tell you. Oh, concrete. Yes, concrete. Thank you for saying that. Oh, one thing I did want to show you too. He is a class act mob crew. Yeah. Missing toddler who walked 7 miles alone through Arizona wilderness led to safety by rancher's dog. The rancher traced the boy's steps and discovered that Buford and some kind of Pyrenees, who normally patrols his land and wards off coyotes, had escorted the 2-year-old for at least a mile. Listen to this.
Come on.
Protects the Dutton Ranch, walking the perimeter nightly to keep
Then we're going to get to the
wildlife
comment.
out.
It's in their blood, they're guardians and stuff.
But on Tuesday morning, there was someone else Buford protected.
Way there, I see Buford coming down the deal right there with a little blonde-haired boy with him.
That blonde-haired boy's parents reported him missing the night before after he wandered away from his home in Seligman.
He was young and ended up wandering further than anyone would have hoped.
The Yavapai County Sheriff's Office, alongside other agencies, conducted a 16-hour search for the 2-year-old.
Not only did we search on foot, but also there were some of the razors and 4x4s, as well as we did make use of some of the helicopters to make sure that we were doing everything we could to locate the child.
It was Buford who found the toddler about 7 miles away from home, sleeping underneath a tree.
There was 1,000 ways for that to go really, really bad and one good way, and luckily it turned out to be the good way.
The wonder of how a toddler managed to survive walking through rugged terrain without sustaining more than a few scratches will never fade for Scotty Dutton.
There's 3 big canyons and ridges all the way towards where he came from, so it's a long, rough piece of country, so it's amazing he made it as far as he did.
But Dutton knows if it wasn't for Buford, this happy ending might never have happened.
She's cooking him a steak for dinner tonight.
Near Kingman, Gabriella Bakura, 12 News Today in AZ.
This week is Black Maternal Health Week, a time to highlight America's Black maternal health crisis.
All right, now I want to show y'all a thing about someone. I've been watching this case as well, but this woman was put in concrete. Now, let's see here. One second. Maybe if I thought I had it pulled up here somewhere. And here we go. Body of a missing woman. This off. Found in concrete. Body of missing Washington State woman found buried under shed, encased in concrete. Handyman questioned. This woman was like really old, and she was missing for a minute. I actually had a thumbnail that I was going to do a live on her, and they had just found her. 82-year-old woman remains were found buried underneath a shed built by her handyman in northwestern Washington, likely for several weeks after she disappeared, authorities said. Marcia Norman was last heard from on the evening of April 1st, her family told Thurston County sheriff's deputies when they reported her missing 3 days later. A missing persons bulletin said Norman had, quote, disappeared under suspicious circumstances, end quote, from her home, where both the woman's cars remained parked after she disappeared. She appeared to leave her residence in a hurry, with partially cleaned dishes left out, the sheriff's office said. Investigators learned that Norman's handyman, Jeffrey Ziz, what a name, Ziz, after dinner was with her on April 1st and believed he may have been the last person to see her alive. This is Mrs. Norman right here. He told us that they had dinner together. He's not the average handyman to the family, Thurston County Lieutenant Mike Brooks told CBS affiliate KIRO. He's a good family friend, so it doesn't necessarily seem like having dinner together would be uncommon. As their probe into Norman's disappearance, Ziz fled the state, violating the terms of his previous sentence for an unrelated sex offense. He was arrested at a motel in Missoula, Montana, according to the county sheriff. Investigators located Norma's body on April 9th. Her remains were discovered beneath a shed in Olympia, not far from, is it Toledo, which they say Ziz built one day after Norman's family filed their missing persons report. The remains were buried and partially encased in concrete. Ziz was extradited back to Washington, where he currently is being held without bail for the sentence violation. He is the primary person of interest in the investigation into Norman's death, but has not yet been charged, the sheriff says. Okay, first of all, let that sink in. He has not yet been charged. Not yet been charged. Remember how Edgar said, oh, they would have already did something. Well, not necessarily. Sometimes it takes time. But he built this shed the day after. I mean, unless they had already pre-planned to build that shed, but it would still make law enforcement be like, well, there's a shed there. We might want to look underneath of it. He's not very smart. He's a film. Yep, Maurice. Yep. That's exactly right. Justin, I wonder if Ellie checked if concrete was poured at anyone's property when Sebastian went missing. I mean, I don't know. The thing about, I've never really been in the concrete thinking related to Sebastian's case, personally. I think that's something that definitely takes planning, and it takes time, work, and all that. I was watching, I think it was 48 Hours the other day. This woman had her husband and buried him out in the backyard and put a cement pad out there, just a random quick cement pad. It was big, big cement pad, and put like lawn chairs and, decorated it real nice. And that man was underneath that concrete for like 6 or 7 years. I'm into the water theory. Perhaps. perhaps. Yes, I've seen that. Lori Shaver. Yeah, I think it was Lori Shaver. That's interesting. Did we get to 1,000 thumbs up? You're amazing. Thank you, Pearls. Yeah. Oh, loud. Thank you so much. Let's have a check on parties. It says yes.
Hello? Hello? I said don't disturb you, I'm cleaning my room!
Snacks, because, you know, he's 15 and snacks. Snacks, because, you know, he's 15 and snacks. Snacks, because, you know, he's 15 and snacks.
Something that I believe we're pervy to. Something that I believe we're pervy to. Something that I believe we're pervy to.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Even a fly, and he's like,
Katie! Oh, Katie! 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 Oh, Katie! Katie!
My name is Edgar. Edgar Steen the Third. I look like Cruella DeVille on a weight loss shot.
and it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Proudfoot, what happened?
Sebastian got caught not wearing his belt. The most awful thing. Right, awful thing. Because you're so perfect.
You would ask to remember off the top of my head. I think it's Sebastian had gotten in trouble. He got caught lying, and I had asked him.
Not possible because that area is not visible in the footage. My ass.
You would ask to remember off the top of my head. I think it's Sebastian had gotten in trouble. He got caught lying.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
Kumbaya.
Oh. Suck it now.
Oh.
Suck it now.
Oh.
Suck it now. A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
Oh my God, look at Chris.
Gerald Daugherty wants to watch the videotape.
Is that Chris?
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
Amen. Christopher! Christopher! Christopher!
I said what?
Katie! Oh, Katie! Katie! Christopher! Oh, Grace! Oh, Grace! Christopher!
My name is Chrissy, what I do. My name is Chrissy, I'll soon be in the clink too, maybe, allegedly, my opinion.
And it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Proudfoot, what happened?
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees. Thank you.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
they can shut their chicken tone, chicken bone, Google Chrome, no home flip phone, disown ice cream cone, garden gnome, student loan, full-blown Indiana Jones, overgrown Flintstone, X and Y chromosome, Fred Zone, Sylvester Stallone, AutoZone, professionally seen silver Patron, head the fuck up, okay? How you doing? Well, I care. Thank you all so much for joining me. Much love to you all. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere, but you chose to be right here. Really do appreciate you. All the blessings to each of you and your loved ones. Oh, Bobby, I know. I know, Bobby. It's sad. It's sad. It really is. It really is. But Lab After Dark starting up here in just a moment. I'll see y'all over there. Much love, everyone. Good night, everyone. And God bless you and yours.